Welcome back to Mountain Connections. First off in our show today, I'm looking forward to talking about senior living in 2021 as well as Father's Day. I have two great individuals joining me live to talk about this topic, how tough the pandemic has been for individuals in senior living facilities, how they're feeling about things changing, and what you can do if you want to honor a special individual during this Father's Day. I have Cliff Gaede here as well as Bobby Ginn joining us live. Thank you both for being here.
Yeah, thank you for us.
Thanks for having us.
Bobby, let's start with you. Tell me a little bit more about how it has been for individuals. You are an employee at a resident facility right here in our local community. It's been so hard for many people.
It's been a challenge. The last year, a little over a year, it's been so tough. Being kind of trapped inside, but it has also been nice. We've become family and so forth. But yes, the challenges are actually just really challenging, and we have to think outside the box on how you do things and how you do new things and how you take care of people and be happy and make sure you're taking care of the residents and so forth.
And Cliff, tell me a little bit about your experience living at the resident facility.
It's been a great experience. We've been there about 3.5 years now. My wife and I have moved there, and it has been really nice being able to be in a facility where, first of all, you don't have to do anything. Everything's done for you practically. And so it's made it real nice to have a place where you can go and be able to make good friends and have a good staff that really helps you a lot and helps you in everything that you need help with.
And Cliff, when you look back at the pandemic, how has it been for you? Has it been particularly difficult? What did you do to help with loneliness and feelings of isolation?
Well, it's been very interesting for us because we both, my wife and I both enjoy being on the computer, and she loves to do puzzles on the computer, but it's a good thing we like each other besides loving each other, and we just made our 58th anniversary just a couple of days ago. And so it has been very good for us, and you know, we can, if we needed to, we can just go downstairs to join other people and talk to other people and be able to still have that social interaction. And so it's worked out really well for us.
It's good to hear, and congratulations, that's a big anniversary.
Thank you, yes.
Bobby, how has it been for many residents? Cliff is in a lucky situation where you're there with your wife and you get along and you like each other, but there's some people that are very alone in these facilities, and it feels a bit like a population that has been kind of left behind throughout the pandemic as they had to stay within their facilities. Some facilities actually had COVID within them. Just really hard times. You can't see your family. So what have some of the residents done who maybe haven't been as fortunate as Cliff?
The family aspect has been a huge part of it over the last year, is becoming more like family together, getting hallways together and sitting in their doorways and playing games and playing bingo in their hallways, doing get-to-know-you games,
right.
Going in small groups and doing fun things and doing crafts. Teaching them about Zoom and how to use Zoom was a huge part a year ago. And now they're all experts at using FaceTime and Zoom and the electronics that let them continue to talk to their families. So that's been a huge thing for us.
And Cliff, I understand that you decided to get vaccinated. How does that feel?
Well, it's kind of interesting because I call it a late Christmas present. Our first shot we got the day after Christmas, and so it's good to have that out of the way and have both shots. You feel like you can go out to the community now, being, well, both my wife and I did have a light case of the COVID anyway, earlier in last year. And so after having that and having our shots, we feel a lot safer being able to go out. And so it makes it nice being able to meet with family as well.
It's a nice time. We appreciate things so much more than perhaps we used to. And Bobby, how are your residents feeling? Are more families starting to come in? Are they starting to get out more? Is there a sense of relief?
Definitely a sense of relief. Lots more activities within the community, larger groups. the Department of Health has been so great to give us some guidelines that have helped us throughout the last year, and the CDC has been so wonderful, and the local government has just helped us so much throughout it all, providing us with all the things that we need, and the advice and the guidelines and so forth. And then too, on top of that, the residents really listened to those guidelines, and that's helped us so much to be able to do the right things and keep COVID out of the building, and let us all be knowledgeable of why we need to get vaccinated. And as we all did, all but 2 people in our 150 bed community has gotten vaccinated, and so that's enabled us to do even more. So back to dining together, whereas for a full year we really weren't dining together, and we were doing everything in the rooms and delivering food there. But it's just really nice to be back together, and it was a big challenge for us to learn and do things new and differently.
And Cliff, I can imagine it's probably a big relief to be able to connect with family again. And as we head up to Father's Day happening next weekend, tell me a little bit more about your family.
Well, we have 20 grandchildren and 10 great-grandchildren. And so with Father's Day coming up, we'll be able to connect with some of our family here. And it was kind of interesting. A year ago, when we had Father's Day, we did a drive-through around the facility, and we could sit on the sidewalk and wave to our family, and as they drove by, and they stop and talk a little bit, but we were like about 15 feet away from them, so we couldn't make that connection. But this year, we can make that connection now. It was kind of interesting. My great-granddaughter lives in Spanish Fork, and she was about a year and a half old last Christmas, and she hadn't really known us that well, other than we've been doing the FaceTime on the telephone or the computer, and so she could see us and meet us and kind of get used to our voices and that sort of thing. We went to their home for Christmas, and of course we were wearing our masks. We hadn't had the shots yet. And so she looked at us and kind of gave us an eye like, I'm not sure who you are. She ran to her daddy, who was sitting on the couch, and jumped up in his lap. And so I just kind of went over slow, not to scare her, and I went in and I said, Lucy, and I pulled my mask down, and she noticed who I was, and she just got the biggest smile on her face, and so now, with her being about 2 years old now, she knows who we are, and so now we can go up and give them hugs and kisses and enjoy having that time with them.
So many challenges, but it's heartwarming to hear your experiences. And we're almost out of time, Bobby, but if someone wants to support an individual and honor them, whether it's Father's Day or not, and they're in a senior care living facility, any things that they can do to really help bridge that gap if they're not there, if they're worried about still connecting, or what is the best way to support these individuals?
Being there for them and listening to the community's guidelines and so forth, making sure they understand what they can do and what they can't do and what they should do and what they shouldn't do, and really just taking advantage of what they can do and being happy with all the things that we can do now, and being grateful for all the things that the residents have done over the last years to enable them to be able to, families to come back and be a part of Father's Day, Mother's Day, and so forth.
And if we want more information about this great community that you both are involved with, where can we find out more?
The Ridge Senior Living, we have 2 communities in the Salt Lake area. We have one in the Ridge Foothill and the Ridge Cottonwood, and both communities that have some space open, luxury communities for retirement, and we love wonderful seniors and taking care of our wonderful people that we get to go work with and be with every day. It's a great job to have and a great place to be.
Well, I'm so appreciative that you both came up here, up to Park City to join us today, talk about this important topic. I appreciate both of you, Bobby and Cliff, for being here.
Thank you for having us.
All right, we'll be back with more right after this.